So here we have given the function at minus 5 raised to the power 6 and then everything divided by t plus 9, and our goal is to find the derivative of this function. So this is equal to what, right? So that's what we need to differentiate with respect to t. This is what we need to find out. So how do we figure this out? What type of function we have? We have some function in the numerator, some function on the denominator. So it looks like it is like a quotient function. So if you have a quotient function, we can always use the quotient rule. But what is the quotient rule? If you have some function, let's say f at the numerator and then g in the denominator, and if we are finding the derivative of that, right? Okay, how do we do it? We write down the function of the denominator as it is, multiply by the derivative of the f. Let's write down that as f prime minus, write down f as it is, multiply by the derivative of the g, and then divided by square of the denominator. So this is the formula. So if that is the case, let's assume this is like f and then this is like g, and then let's try to use the quotient rule. Okay, but if you want to use the quotient rule, you know that we need to know f, g, f prime, g prime. So let's find all of those. Okay, so let's try to do it somewhere over here. Let's say, so let's assume f is the function of the top, so 8t minus 5. Okay, and then let's assume g is the function of the bottom, which is t plus 9. Okay, and let's try to find f prime and g prime. So f prime is derivative of 8t minus 5. So on that case, what is the derivative? We need to find the derivative of 8t, which is just 8, right? And derivative of the 5 with respect to t, 0. So that's it. F prime is just 8. And what is g prime? G prime is actually equal to derivative of t plus 9, which is derivative of t with respect to t is 1, derivative of 9 is 0, so just 1. By the way, I forget one thing here. Let me re-evaluate this. What was function f? The function f is actually 8t minus 5 to the power 6. So if that is the case, I mean, we need to find the derivative of that, right? Everything of the numerator. So this was wrong. So we need to do this again. So how to find the derivative of this thing? Bring the power down, right? By using the generalized power rule, we can do that. Write down 8t minus 5 as it is. Subtract the power by 1, which is 6 minus 1 will be 5, times derivative of 8t minus 5, which is actually 8. Okay, all right. So this is what we have. So this is actually equal to 48 times 8t minus 5 raised to the power 5. This is our f prime. Okay, luckily we find a mistake, otherwise we would have a trouble, right? Okay, we have f, g, f prime, g prime. All right, so let's try to use the quotient rule. Okay, so let's try to use the quotient rule, which is, I'm going to do it right over here. And what is the quotient rule? We need to write down g, and then g is t plus 9. So let's write that down. We need to write down f prime, right? So f prime is what is f prime? So f prime is this one, where we're going to have some mistake, but we found that. So let's write that down, which is 48 times 8t minus 5 square of that, right? And on the formula we have negative 5. So let me write down over here, then negative, and then negative f, and f is this one. So let's write that down, which is 8t minus 5 to the power 6, and then g prime, which is just 1. So this is everything is on the numerator, right? So let me write down everything over here, divided by square of the denominator, or let's say square of the g, which is t plus 9 square. All right, so let's just focus on this expression over here. Our derivative is done. The only thing is, now we want to see if we can simplify further. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so how can we do this? Okay, if you look into the term, let me little bit use a different pen, let's say, with different boldness, right? Okay, so we can see here I have 8t minus 5. By the way, okay, I need to have also 5 here. What am I trying to do? Okay, 8t minus 5 to the power 5. So that's what I have over here, right? So sorry. Okay, all right. So this is nice. Okay, good. All right, so we have 8t minus 5 to the power 5 here. 8t minus 5 to the power 6 are a term on these right, a factor on these two terms. So if that is the case, we can actually take 8t minus 5 to the power 5 as a common factor. So when we do that, we will have 48 times t plus 9 is a remainder on the first term, and on the second term I will have just 8t minus 5, right? I would have already taken 8t minus 5 to the power 5 out, so 8t minus 5 is the only term remainder on the second term, divided by square of t plus 9. So let's copy, write down like that. So now this is then equal to 8t minus 5 to the power 5, right, times, now let's distribute by 48. Then we get 48t plus 48 times 9. What is 48 times 9? Alright, so I hope you have used the calculator, and then if I have not messed up here, then it might be 432. Okay, and then minus 8t, right, when you distribute by the negative, and then we'll have plus 5, right, when you distribute here by the negative, and that's what we get. Okay, now everything under that will be square of t plus 9. All right, then now we have 8t minus 5 to the power 5, and then we can combine the like term. Here is 48t, here is negative 8t. When we combine, we just get 40t, right? And now we have 400 positive 432 positive 5. When we combine, we get 437. All right, and then everything under that will be square of t plus 9. Now how much you want is like a simplify, depending on that, definitely you need to go up to here, or maybe you can do other type of simplification, but the derivative is already over here, right? So when we apply the quotient rule here, when we apply the quotient rule, the derivative was already there, right there. So this is already the derivative of the function. If you leave it like this, that's also a derivative, but this might be a little bit on the simplified form, right? So that's what we can say. All right.